I'm Melody Pash, Dream Diva, and I have with me today Michael Roberts, Sir Michael Roberts, a good friend and an intern. He's been hanging around for about 3 years.
Yes, about 3 years. Mm-hmm.
Have you learned anything?
Learned a lot.
Has it been fun?
It changed my life.
We have fun!
So.
I love that. Michael is an awesome guy, and he has a really cool dream that he's going to share with us today. So, Michael, tell us about your crazy dream.
Okay, so my dream was there was 3 siblings. There was a set of twins. They were girls, and there was a boy. Their father was filthy rich. So when they got of age, he asked them what they want to choose their vocation to be. They each chose vocation. One of the twins chose a daycare. The other twin chose a laundromat. And the boy chose to be an underwear model.
An underwear
yes,
model.
Yes, an underwear model. So after that, they all chose their vocation. And one of the twins who had the daycare center. So the laundromat and the daycare center was in the same building. The laundromat was on the first floor. The daycare center was on the second floor. In order to get to the daycare center, you had to walk up a ramp that had brown tiles. The one who had the daycare center got to a point where she said she didn't want to do this anymore.
Okay, hold on. So what you've got is a laundromat on the bottom floor.
Yes.
And a daycare center on the top.
Yes.
Okay, the 2 siblings, twins.
Twins, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to assume that all of these siblings are different attributes of your own life.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so the laundromat, obviously, some deliverance stuff, some cleansing of attitudes, the way we respond to things, the way we react to things. That's all good. Daycare, what do you think about the daycare?
The daycare makes me think of teaching the basic skills of life.
There you go.
Social skills, life skills, things that will just pretty much be the foundation to help you learn regular things in life that's important.
Makes perfect sense, like those formative years, right?
Yes.
Getting them ready for socializing and being able to work together, not beat each other up and not bite each other.
Absolutely.
No biting allowed, right?
Yes.
I
Tie
love
your shoes,
that.
don't trip over your shoes.
Yeah, all those formative things that you need.
Yeah.
So those life skills, like you said, that's really, really good. And you kind of work in you do work in the social.
Yes, I do.
Social services,
yes,
right?
I do.
And you just got your BA.
Yes.
Working on your master's.
Yes, I am.
So we're moving forward.
Yes.
I love that. So I love that the daycare is about social skills.
Yes.
And you said something about a ramp going from the laundromat to the second floor to the daycare.
Yes.
So easy access, even if you're disabled, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Even if you're in a wheelchair, you can get to the second floor if you need those social skills.
Yes.
And it's interesting because sometimes, especially when we have trauma in our life, those things are pieces that get stunted or that we miss. We don't grow in those areas if we have trauma, PTSD, different things like that. So we miss some of the formative stuff. So it's kind of interesting that it all encompasses.
Right.
Yeah. So you're saying the one of the sisters, the sister who had to the daycare, decided she didn't want to do daycare anymore.
Yeah.
So what'd you do?
So she told her father she didn't want to do the daycare anymore. He said, okay. She said she wanted to do a car dealership. Yeah, he said, okay. He took her to a car dealership, and it wasn't up to her speed. She didn't really like how it looked.
Okay, so she got tired of taking care of the babies.
Yes.
And decided she wanted to work with those who had a little bit more of life.
Yes.
And a little more speed on them. Right? But she didn't like what the dealership looked like.
No, she didn't like what the first dealership looked like.
Okay. So what happened after that?
So after that, he took her, we walked down the street, and he was leading us to another car dealership.
Okay.
When we got there, we was walking down the street, we went through this archway, and we were on a balcony. Once we got on the balcony, we looked and had in front of us, and there was this huge casino.
Okay, stop there for a minute, because you said you walked through an archway.
Yes.
and then onto a balcony.
Mm-hmm.
So you went to the high place,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of interesting. You have a good perspective from the high place,
Yes.
right? Which is really cool. And the archway could represent a spiritual portal of some sort.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay, so go ahead.
Perspective change.
Right?
Yeah, so when we got there, we were just viewing the casino from the outside, and it was amazing. Like the lights were shining, it was colorful. We saw cars on the outside of the casino. So the casino was a casino and a car dealership. So you seen the cars in display.
Okay. Alrighty. Now, a casino to me represents risk, like the willingness to, be a risk taker and to move forward in things sometimes that are not in our comfort zone, like you were talking about.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if the casino is connected to just being willing even to pay a price for a greater reward, winning something big, like the big winnings.
Right. Yeah.
So then you say she's seeing all these beautiful cars. You're seeing all these beautiful cars.
As we were viewing the cars, and then we looked up and we realized that there was a retractable roof. Yeah, almost like it was an observatory. The roof was brown and it can open up.
I love that. So an observatory, like you can see the galaxies, but also there are no limitations, like there's no ceiling.
Right.
Right? The ceiling opens up. We're still talking about risk and being directed by Creator and going into fuller things. This is interesting. And interesting that the sister wasn't settling. She had some big expectations, right? Aspirations. She's like, no, I want more. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so after we seen that the floor had a door as well. The door on the floor was shaking. And then after that I woke up.
The door on the floor
Yes.
was shaking. So what do you think that represents?
I'm not sure. I remember just looking at it, being super curious of why it was shaking the way it was.
Wonder if your foundation's really shaken.
Okay.
Like,
interesting.
that's where the change comes in, right? The transition.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now, earlier when we were talking about the cars, you were also talking about how the cars were displayed and they were sort of on an angle. And they were you said they were sort of on a different level.
Yes.
Interesting. And they were all very shiny. You said there was a silver one. Okay, so there may be some refinement involved.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And interesting that there's an angle to the display. I wonder if part of what your dream's talking about is another angle or another perception.
Right.
The way you're perceiving or sort of working with something. And I love the observatory, that you can open the ceiling and see the galaxy, see where you can go, see how far you can go, how high you can go, and all of the stars there. And I think Creator sees us as stars and even calls us stars, our lives.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
True. Yeah.
Wow. So how does that resonate with your own life?
Was definitely with the sister wanting to take a risk. Was something that definitely resonated because I came from a background where you never went out of the bounds.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just don't do that, But I really got into a place where I was just discontent where I was. I knew there was more. There was more to discover, and I just made that request, to myself. I said, hey, are you willing to make this decision to just step out and take the risk?
Wow.
And I did, and I feel like that Creator just, backed me up in that decision.
Absolutely.
And I was provided in my life the apparatus or everything, the tools that I needed to actually take those steps and move forward.
Come on.
Yeah. So.
Wow, that's incredible. And did you tell me you're the first in your immediate family to get a degree?
Yes, I am the first one to get a bachelor's degree.
A bachelor's. That is such a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you're sort of moving forward and you're in the process, you're making a path for those that come behind you.
Yes.
Which that changes the atmosphere. That'll change your galaxies.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
I love that. Now, you're going on to get your master's and your doctorate, right?
Yes, I am.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for joining us. This was incredible. What a cool dream that is. Like you have crazy dreams.
Yes.
We'll interview you again because you
Okay.
always have crazy
Oh,
dreams.
thank you.
We'll do this again. Thanks
And
for
I would say
joining
keep
us.
coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on.
By demand, right?
I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We just keep expecting them and they keep showing up. But you
Absolutely.
have some strategy in your dreams, which I love.
Yes.
Those are some of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome. Well, thanks for joining us and thank you for spending the time with us. This has been so much fun. And remember, it's more than just a dream.